Hey everyone, GM, good night, good morning, wherever you are in the world. Sorry for this little delay, but we are ready to go. We're ready to rock and roll, ready to provide you some cool educational content. And right now with us, we have Venice from Dabble Club, who will take you through how you can quickly design, build, and launch dApps for any EVM chain. So definitely buckle up. It's going to be fun. And with that, Vince, I will pass it on to you.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Vanessa from Dabble Club. And today we're going to be going through the dApp development Launchpad. So it's a very quick and easy way to get your front end and your smart contract deployed to Vercel. So this is super helpful at any hackathon. So let's go ahead and get started. And if we can just get the link shared, but if while you're waiting for the link to get shared, you can just Google a Polygon dApp development. And so it should kind of come up, quick start. Oh, awesome. She's got it in already. All right, so let's go through the quick start. And so if you haven't already installed this, you'll want to run this first command here, npm install G for global, Polygon Labs, dApp Launchpad. I already have it installed. So I'm going to just go into my desktop. And to start creating a project, we'll have to run dApp Launchpad init and your project name. So let's call this dApp Launchpad init, and we'll call this Chainlink demo. And it does take a little bit for it to load. So while this is loading, we can kind of take a look at all the other steps here. And so the first thing we'll want to do is we're going to be copying our env files from both our front end and our smart contracts. So they're going to be two directories that will be created once this project is finished completing. And it's all ready to go. So let's go ahead and open this up in VS Code or whatever code editor that you also have. Wonderful. Okay, so here are the two directories that I mentioned. You have your front end. This is where all your front end code lives. And then you have your smart contracts. So this is everything that you'll be working with. You have your hard hat config file, and you'll see that there's already preset chains for you. And so let's first start with our front end. So let's minimize that. And in our front end, we have this .env example file. So we're going to just copy this. And the way we can do that, we'll cd into front end. And from here, we'll run the command cp for copy. And then we're going to grab the file that we're looking to copy, and then we're going to rename the new file we're creating. So now we'll look in this .env. We have this next public Wallet Connect project ID. If you don't already have a Wallet Connect ID, you will want to create one. You can do that by going to cloud.walletconnect.com. It takes only a couple of moments to create it. I'm already logged in, and I already have a project ID created. So I'm going to just copy this, go back to VS Code, and I'm going to save that in here. And we're going to now do the same thing with smart contracts. So let's take a look at what file we're copying. I'm going to erase this because we're not going to use this for the example. So private key deployer, this is just another word for your private key of where you'll be deploying. So let's go back to our root directory, and we'll go into our smart contracts directory, and we'll run the same command that we did, copy.env example, and we'll create this new file. Now, obviously, you don't want to share your private keys with anyone, but we're going to just show you an example. And I'm going to use this burner account that I use and account details. So I'm going to copy my own private key. Please don't take all my funds. It's a pain to get a lot of faucet funds sometimes, but here we are. Okay, cool. So now that we have those things set up, let's go back to our directory, And back in our quick start to run the app. So next thing we need to do is just run dApp Launchpad dev. And you're going to see that we're going to have all these different private keys created. If you've ever used Hardhat, this is just creating a local instance of a blockchain network. So let's go ahead and do that. Now it's dApp Launchpad dev. Cool. And this should be running on localhost 3000. And so you can see here, it's asking me to switch to my Hardhat network. If you haven't already configured to Hardhat, you can do that by adding the RPCs to your wallet. So let's go ahead and switch this network from Mantle to localhost. And let's refresh. And let's see what we have here. So I'm just going to disconnect from everything first. And it's going to ask me to connect to an account. So let's first import one of these key accounts. We can really use any one we want. So I'm going to use just number 10. And let's cancel this. Whoops. All right, so to import a new account, we can go on add and then import, and we'll paste in that private key. And so you can see we have like 1,000 fake ETH or 10,000 fake ETH on account 5. So let's just refresh this and let's connect to that account 5. So we'll hit connect. Cool, so it looks like we are connected, and now we can try this by saying GM from localhost. And as we expect, we're getting prompted through MetaMask to sign this transaction, or send this transaction. Ooh, let's see. What is this error? These are always fun. Okay, so it did show up. Let's try that again, though. And let's just see what happened, if there's anything, no logs. Okay, I'm gonna write this. I believe this error always does come up either way. ID is required. Let me try to remove some of these accounts. And let's just try to rerun that. And let's import account 7. Okay, so it should be asking us now to switch over. Okay, we're in hard hat. Sorry guys, give me just a second here while this is finished loading. So with this account, we should be expecting to see some sort of funds since we are connected to the hard hat network. Let's try a different key. Let's try 12. Okay, I'm just wondering if this is like my internet, why this is taking so long to load. Let's just try to. Let's just test this. Weird. Okay. Let's go into. Let's remove both of the accounts again. Let's just make sure these are hard hat. The RPC is correct. Should be though, because it worked the first time. Let's see. Three one three three seven 31337. Oh, sorry. You know what? We can just just confirm that here. So here is what we need. 5. Yeah, it's okay. So let's go back to our local dev here and let's import that account first. Let's try importing a different account. What could be going on here? .env. Okay, let's just go straight to testnet. Let's see what happens if we run this on testnet. So taking a look back at our quick start, we can deploy by running dApp Launchpad deploy and -n for network and then the chain name. Let's go back to our code, and in our hard hat config, I'm going to erase basically all of these other chains except for testnet polygon zk EVM. So I'm going to remove that. And then just something to note here is that we have changed from our old zk EVM to our newer one, which is called Cardona. And you can find the RPC details. I always like using chain list. And so it's this new chain ID 2442. So let's paste that in here for the URL. And we can just close that. And let's see. We can run dApp, Launchpad, deploy n, and we'll run polygon zk EVM testnet. We're basically going to just say yes to all these settings. Front end. All right, and then in the meantime, what we can also do is, since this is going to be deploying from my burner account, we can just copy paste that and go into the Cardona block explorer. And so let's search for that ID or that wallet address. Okay, cool. So we can see that the contract was created. This was done 43 seconds ago. and it's still building the front end. So let's just give it a second for that. We'll still have to troubleshoot what's going on localhost, but hopefully this works on testnet. And while that's building, we can also, okay, cool. Looks like it built. Let's check it out. Let me copy. Okay, now let's test this here. So notice that we're not on localhost anymore. We're now actually on a website. So let's click on MetaMask and we'll get on that burner wallet. And so it's asking us to move from Hardhat to that Cardona testnet. So everything looks good here. So GM from testnet. And so, yeah, everything's good. Let's confirm. And while that's waiting, we can also, I'm a little impatient, but we can always check Block Explorer. And so, cool, we see here our last latest transaction went through 11 seconds ago. This was a contract creation. So it's probably just taking a moment for it to load up here. And I'm going to just open this up. I'm going to go back to our local just to take a look at some stuff here. Okay, I honestly don't know what's going on. This generally, like, it should populate right away. Let's try that again. Test number 2. Okay, cool. All right, so this one did come up without having to refresh. So I'm just curious if maybe this is some lack of Wi-Fi that I'm having trouble here with. But let's go back to our code and let's go ahead and open this up back in localhost. And if we want to connect, let's go Hardhat. Okay, interesting. Now it shows up we have a 10,000 ETH. Okay, that's great. Hardhat and test number 3. Right, account 3, 81 cents. Okay, same error message. I'm gonna just copy this. Okay, let's refresh this. All right, so we got to figure out why we're getting this error. But in the meantime, let me also show you how you can start editing your front end. So we'll want to go to Pages Index. So from your front end, we're going to go to Source, Pages, Index. So this is where our component starts importing. So from here, we'll go to Components, Pages. And so we can kind of add something here, an H1 tag. So yeah, we're connected, that's why. Okay. So let's unconnect. And let's see where this is at. So we just find connect. So here we go. Let's just add something under this. H3. Oh, I wonder if it's, let's see, style. All right, yeah, probably the text is white. It's probably why we can't see it on the other side. So hello from localhost. And yeah, so all the components are already created for you. Now, I'm not really sure why we're getting that error, but on localhost, but when we do refresh, we are able to see it. And let's go back to our deployed version. And let me take a notes here as well. Okay, so and let's confirm. And so when the tool is working correctly, you can see that it's super simple to get your front end and your smart contract deployed. And so we'll have to follow up with you all about what's going on with that local error. But yeah, all the transactions are going through on Block Explorer. So my guess is something with my faulty internet, because yeah, like this generally will just come up dynamically without having to refresh. And then we should expect this to also be erased once it's been done. But that is our workshop for today. I guess I can leave it up for questions if anyone has any questions for us.
Thank you so much, Vanis. Yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll give 1 minute to see if everything's clear, if there's any questions. I also invite you to definitely go to our dev post space. I just posted in the chat and see in detail all the polygons, bounties, requirements, everything you need to be eligible for the prices. And it seems there's no questions. So I think we are good. Oh, perfect. You're going to share it. So if you go a bit to the bottom, there's a part there that says submission request, says sponsors bounties, and there you go. Polygon is
cool.
The first.
All right, yeah, so we have quite a few different tracks. For our first one is you would have to deploy on Polygon Cardano testnet. So you can literally use that quick start we just went through and import your private key, grab your Wallet Connect Cloud ID, and that technically will qualify you for the submission. But I do want to add a note is you do need to be using the contract somewhere on your dApp. So if you just deploy it and you have like 4 other L2 contracts deployed, but you're not using something like CCIP from Chainlink to use multiple different contracts, then that's not technically going to make you eligible, because we do want to make sure that you're actually able to post transactions and it's not just a contract creation. We also have a best DeFi dApp on Polygon Amoy, and this is our proof of stake chain. And that's also a pre-configuration for that quick start. If you are into AI, AR, VR, we will also have a bounty over that. So we definitely want to see something really cool, something different, very cool, novel approaches. This is also for our LXLY bridge, ZK EVM extension. This actually fits with our narrative with the ag layer. And so if you do have any questions on this, please don't hesitate to ask. This is pretty alpha, and we've provided all the resources that we can, but of course, if you need any more help beyond that, we're happy to get some Polygon DevRels to assist you with that as well. And of course, we can't forget best social dApp on Lens. If you haven't already built with Lens, it's a very quick and easy way to get a decentralized dApp running, and you'll have access to thousands of profiles that have already been minted. And so, we want to see something fun with that. If you of course, there are probably extra kudo points if it's a mobile-friendly UX, because we all know that most people are going to be using social dApps on mobile, not necessarily desktop, but those are just my 2 cents. Yeah, and so thanks so much for having us on today.
Yes, thank you. And thank you for going through the bounties. That's definitely super helpful for our hackers. And yeah, thanks everyone for jumping in. Thanks again, Dennis, for taking the time. And we will see everyone tomorrow. Back to one more round of workshops, and happy hacking. Keep building. We're definitely looking forward to see what you bring to us. And have a good day, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.